Hello guys, today that we are going to talk about the DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and that is a part 2. So in the part 1, I've told you about the theory portion, why this DHCP is used and what do you mean by the DHCP and why it is used. Right, DHCP is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It is used to provide the IP address and the related parameters to the computers and the other network devices. Now today, the part 2 says, or the part 2 will go with the configuration. So the configuration, what I'll be doing is that I'll not be configuring a server, but I will make a Cisco router as a DHCP server. So I'll make the Cisco router as a DHCP server, and we will give the IP address to the computers and to the other network devices. So here, I've already created a topology here in the GNS3. So here you can see, as per the diagram, I hope you can see it clearly. So here, as per the diagram here, you can see, so this is the router 1, or this is the DHCP router here. The router 1, I'm going to make it as a DHCP router. Okay, and of course the router will be assigned. So here we got a network. This router 1 is connected to a switch, and the switch is then connected to a computer as well as a router. So what I'm going to do is I'll give the IP address 10.0.0.1 to the DHCP server or to this DHCP router. Then I'll enable the DHCP configuration in this particular router, and we'll make a DHCP router. Then using the DHCP, then I will say from the PC1, I'll show you how the PC1 gets an IP address from the DHCP. And even the router, in addition to acting as a DHCP server, it can act as a DHCP client, or it can also get the IP address from the DHCP server. So now, to configure that, so I'll go to R1. So first, I'll have to give the IP address to R1. So here, I'll be configuring the IP address here. So I'll go to the config mode, and that to the particular interface, which is fastnet 0/0. I'll go to interface fastnet 0/0. I'll be giving the IP address, which is 10.0.0.1, 255.255.255.0, and we'll give no shutdown, so that the interface will be up. So now do show IP interface brief. You can see the IP address has come up, or I've assigned the IP address to fastnet 0/0 of router 1 or the DHCP router. Now that I'll configure the commands. Right, so I say to make this particular router as a DHCP, what I'll do is that I'll give the command, we'll go to the config mode, we'll give the command IP DHCP, then we'll create a pool. So here, of course, this router 1 will act as a DHCP. And the DHCP needs to be assigned with a range of IPs which needs to be provided to the computers. So to give the range of IPs, to give whatever the things are, we need to give all those things in the pool here. So I'm going to create a pool. So suppose test. Then you can see the prompt has changed to DHCP-config. So I've gone inside the DHCP. Then what I'm going to do is I'll give the network. So of course, say whenever some machines are asking for the IP addresses, they have to give it from a range of IPs. That will be mentioned from this particular command network. Then which network needs to be given? 10.0.0.0/24. So I'll be giving 255.255.255.0. So of course, this is the network that needs to be given to the computers when they ask for the IP address. Then along with the IP address, you can give, say in the previous video I've told you that you can give the DHCP IP, the DNS IP, the default gateway, etc., which can be given by using this command DNS-server. Suppose, say if you got a DNS server in your organization, you can give that particular DNS server's IP. Suppose it's 10.0.0.100 is our DNS server's IP. So I've given the DNS server's IP as 10.0.0.100. which will be given to the computer. Now, I can mention the default gateway also. Suppose the default router, suppose it is 10.0.0, say 20 is our gateway. I can mention it. If this router, this particular DHCP router itself is the gateway, I'll be giving the IP as its own IP, which is 10.0.0.1. It doesn't matter. Now that when a computer asks the DHCP, right, the computer, of course, we have studied the process here. He will send the discover message. So when he sends the discover, the DHCP router will offer him an IP address. He'll offer him an IP, and the offered IP will be of the range 10.0.0.0/24. But hey guys, let me ask you, the very first IP itself, it is given to somebody else. So we need to exclude this IP. We should tell the router, hey router, you should not give this IP to anybody because it has been given to you or it has been given statically to some other machines. So you can exclude it by mentioning, you have to go to the config mode. You can exclude it by mentioning the command IP DHCP excluded -address. Then whichever address you want, you can mention. Suppose 10.0.0.1 is mentioned. Then you can mention it to another, the continuous range you can mention. Suppose 10.0.0.1 to 10.0.0.10 is already given. So you can mention it like this. So that, say, of course, whenever they offer, they'll start giving from 10.0.0.11 only. So now the PC, now that we are initiating the DORA process here, the PC1, I'll tell the PC1 to search for the IP address here, right? Then what happens? Then the computer will search for the IP address. Then the discover package will be sent. He will receive the discover. He will send the offer, and the offered IP will be 10.0.0.11. Why? Because .1 to .10 is already used, and .11 onwards you can take it. That is the available IP. So then discover, offer, request, and acknowledgement all will happen. Right. Now let me go to the PC and show it to you. We'll go to the PC and I'll type IP DHCP. So what happens is that now that they are sending the discover, you can see the D, and then offer is received, request is sent, acknowledgement is received. They have got the IP address. You can see after the DORA process, they have received the IP 10.0.0.11 and the gateway is 10.0.0.20. Now, if you want to see that, show IP, if I'm not wrong, show IP is the command. You can see 10.0.0.11 is the IP, gateway is 10.0.0.20, DNS is 10.0.0.100, DHCP, the IP is 10.0.0, the server is 10.0.0.1, and it is leased for this particular duration. And this is how the computer will receive the IP address from the DHCP server. Similarly, the router can also act as a DHCP client. So if at all the router, right, so let me capture the packets as well here so that I can show you the packet captures. Right. So here we'll take the packet capture. Okay. Now let me tell you. So here what happens is that, so now I should make this router get an IP address. In the fastnet 0/0, I will make this router get an IP address from the DHCP server. So for that, I'll go to this particular interface, fastnet 0/0 of R2, right? Here, interface fastnet 0/0 of R2. Then I'll mention IP address. To give the IP address manually, I could have typed it like this. Now that I don't want the manual IP, I'll give the command DHCP. Now, then we'll make it up. We'll give the command no shutdown. Then you can see the discover will be sent, the request. So let me take the packet capture here. So of course, you can see DHCP, I'll filter it. Now you can see, of course, the DHCP filtering is not success, but you can see you can see here, right? Somebody has sent the DHCP discover here. And you can see, say the layer, of course, we have already studied the layer 3, the layer 2, and the layer 4, as well as layer 7 headers. Okay, so in the layer 3 header, say as this compute or this router has not got an IP address or it does not have an IP address, so it is 0.0.0.0, it's the source IP, and it is sent to the broadcast, and the DHCP server is replying back to the broadcast again. So you can see at the layer 3, everybody is a broadcast here. So discover, offer, request, and acknowledgement, everybody is a broadcast. And you can see, so the offered IP for the router, the offered IP will be 10.0.0.12 here. Your client IP address, that's the offered IP. Now, so when you check R2, you can see the 10.0.0.12 is assigned. So when you go to R2, you can read this message. DHCP. So fastnet 0/0 assigned DHCP address. So fastnet 0/0 has been assigned with the IP address 10.0.0.12/24. So now if you take do show IP interface brief, you can see, of course, fastnet 0/0 has got an IP 10.0.0.12 and is via the DHCP. Now, if you go to DHCP server and you got a couple of show commands as well, the command is show IP DHCP binding to see the bindings. You can see 10.0.0.11 is used by this particular computer and 10.0.0.12 is used by this particular router. And this is how the DHCP server leases the IP address to the DHCP clients, or this is how the DHCP clients receive the IP address from the DHCP server. So thank you guys.